Do you think that Ben King will leave the Gold Coast Suns this year?
I reckon it's 50-50.
I reckon he'll sign for 2 years. I reckon he'll sign for 2 years and then they'll probably lose him.
I'm just trying to think of, is he coming out of contract this year?
Yep.
Yeah, no, but does that take him to, is he restricted free agent?
He's a free agent at the end
or an
of this year.
unrestricted free agent?
No,
But it is interesting because it's the first time in the Suns' history where leaving the Suns might be leaving a premiership contender.
Exactly. That's why I think he'll stay.
That's a very different thing that's happened in the past, isn't it, really? So Ben King, I don't know where we might go, but if he doesn't go to another, that's the great advantage the Suns have got now in retention. They've got a good team, winning games, players are feeling good about themselves.
It's a big call for the young man to make. It's his 8th season, so certainly, and it's a huge differential, whether it's restricted or unrestricted. I think it might be unrestricted. We'll double check that.
I think it is. My understanding is it is.
Yeah, which means the Suns can't match an offer and hold him if he does elect to go. Collingwood probably won't be the only club inquiring about his services either. I wouldn't have.
No, but people have had a crack at Collingwood a bit over the last few weeks. I see AFL.com had a crack at them for mishandling Ginnivan, and perhaps they should have held on to Ginnivan and Myercheck. It's interesting. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are, and it's too early in the season to say, but Collingwood clearly do have a key forward problem.
Was the Myercheck thing just a salary cap issue? That the salary cap was tight enough, we have to make a sacrifice somewhere, so Myercheck was kind of the sacrifice?
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that.
I think it might have been a salary cap part of it. Okay, we've got to get some savings in the salary cap, and he's in early 30s. We'll have to sacrifice something.
Well, they let him go and Mason Cox go.
I don't know if he would have been the one I would have let go, that's all.
Well, they signed Membry for 2 years, so he still had a year of his contract to go. Myercheck coming out of contract. I mean, we know they've got a stack of over 30s anyway, but, yeah, all of a sudden it's a paucity of tall targets in front of the ball, isn't it?
Dan McStay hasn't really... I know he got a terrible injury, but he hasn't been the player that hoped, to be brutal.
Magpies enjoying the week off, of course, this week with the early season buys.
Daicos is in Tassie. Mark, Collingwood are under the pump because they let Myercheck go, and they have been strongly linked in the past week to your big Ben King, who is out of contract at the end of this year. Where are those talks at, and are you confident, because you've lost some big forwards in the past, that you will keep Ben King?
Yeah, we lost a damn good key forward captain to the Tigers many years ago, and that harmed us a lot. I feel like our club is in a different place now in the way that we view contracting. It feels like we're a little bit calmer in our approach. And across Ben's journey, we know Ben pretty well, obviously. Across Ben's journey, we've always allowed him to come to the decision in his time frames, and we'll do that again if we felt like it was going to be more beneficial to do something different, then we would. But it's worked for us in the past, and hopefully he stays.
To your knowledge, has Collingwood approached him?
I don't know, and they'd be mad at some stage. I'm not just talking about Ben King. They'd be mad at some stage if there wasn't discussions from clubs to agents, like we do to agents. What do you think will happen there? I don't think it's gone further than that, but it'll play out across this year.
So it did get very emotional when the two co-captains left in Stephen May and Tom Lynch, and obviously Gary Ablett Jr. as well. When you say calmer, did you get, as a club, too overwrought in those negotiations?
I feel like we're a little bit more mature now. Don't get me wrong. If I could go back to that day and have that decision reversed and for Tom Lynch to stay with the person, the quality of the character he is and the quality of player, we would always want him to stay. I think back then we knew that it was going to be a devastating thing for us if Tom left, that it would almost force us into a reset, and it did. And that was not something we were contemplating as a young club trying to establish themselves. In the first 4 years, Gold Coast Suns looks like it's about to do something. In the fourth year, it gets really exciting, and then it just hovers around in the bottom third for a bit, and then players leave. And we knew that once that door opened and too many players left, we would not have the talent we would need to be up towards the top of the ladder.
Not only is Queen Mary in Tasmania, in her hometown.
What was she doing being photographed with Hawthorn?
Well, I agree. I know. She says she's going to change teams in 2 years. That's a big issue, and I've written about that in The Age today, not Queen Mary. But footy royalty's down there too. The entire male Daicos family. Peter, Nick and Josh at the King of the Cashies are down there. Are down
Just
there
a coincidence, Caro, isn't it?
Well,
They're doing some work in Tassie. Is that what you're saying, Caro?
well, I think I just said what they were doing, Lee. But, you have to wonder.
It's been a renaissance for Pete, hasn't it, in terms of the Cashies with the
It's a beautiful
the two
day in
superstar
Tasmania.
sons.
Maybe, Brendan Gale, who knows? Who knows? But he's signed till 2029.
Are they in Hobart today, or they could be doing Cashies in Lonnie or Burnie or...
I can't pinpoint. I should have told. I should
tour.
have looked.
It's a
I should have
tour.
asked.
We need to dig a bit deeper.
Should player payments be made public? It's an interesting concept. Currently, they're not public, of course. Now, St Kilda have a bit of a case study on this potentially, just with a couple of players. I mean, we seem to think that Wanganeen Malira's getting $2 million, which is top of the tree. TDK, Daicos is getting 1.7. Now, whether that's accurate or not, everyone thinks that. Fans think it, commentators think it, coaches probably know it or not know it, teammates probably think it. So on that basis, I kind of think if you talk mental health issues, this is diabolical, I reckon, for Wanganeen Malira and Daicos. Because everyone, I don't care who you are, whether you're a fan, commentator, coach or a teammate, you think, if you know that Wanganeen Malira is getting $2 million, if he plays an ordinary game, you think, I didn't earn his money today. I think there is a concept, and a reasonable concept, that if we know what players are going to get paid, then we judge their performance against what they're getting paid, which is why Wanganeen Malira has probably been jumped on a bit the last couple of weeks, because he hasn't been dominating best on ground, and you could say the same about Daicos. So I think, in particularly because of what you call the mental health space that we talk about these days, where you're trying, we know players are under a lot of scrutiny and what have you. Seems to me I would have thought the St Kilda case study would say, don't make player payments public. All you got is downside. All you've got is teammates who are getting jealous of what teammates are getting, or teammates are judging, and I don't care who they are, the St Kilda players deep down would be judging Wanganeen Malira and Daicos a little bit on what are they producing compared to what they're getting paid. I think this is a natural response. So for me, yeah, keep it rumoured, but as soon as it becomes public, I think it's an issue that is an action and a consequence that is unfortunate.
That is the status quo. So question to both of you, can you see a time down the track, 3, 5, 10 years' time, where they will be made public like some other competitions around the world, case study or Exhibit 1A is the NFL?
I know Kane Corns, I think, has pushed for this, and a few other commentators have too. By the way, Ben King, Sam McClure tells us, is a restricted free agent. I thought he was unrestricted. Sorry about that. No. And I mean, the problem, though, with such a protracted and public negotiation as was Wanganeen Malira last year, it became known what was going to happen, fairly or unfairly. Daicos, it was known from very early in the season. Of course, he had to go, and it suited Carlton because of course he would leave for that money. So I think there are going to be times it comes out anyway.
Well, but they're rumoured out, and we sort of half believe it. But this one seemed to be, and the St Kilda people might argue that Wanganeen is not getting exactly $2 million, and Daicos not getting exactly
1.7.
But I wonder what even their St Kilda people as close as the St Kilda teammates. I doubt whether they've had a session at the club saying, listen, Wanganeen is not actually getting, like with their playing group, you're not going to actually go there and talk about player salaries. But I think on the St Kilda,
did you ever have that issue at Brisbane?
Well, no, they weren't public. That's the point. Whatever players were getting paid, it might pop out in the paper as a rumour or an estimate or something like that. I'm more the St Kilda one, because everyone believes Wanganeen Malira, everyone in the whole football fraternity, including his teammates, think he's getting $2 million a year, which is, like by far the highest in the competition, and Daicos getting 1.7, who's probably the second highest. I think their teammates know it too. So, as I say, it's a little case study on if you do know, it has unfortunate byproducts, I reckon, and they sometimes float to the surface, sometimes they're in the background, but I don't think there's anything helpful except it satisfies the curiosity of those of us who are looking from afar.